Would you like to know, as a seller, what exactly you have to pay for closing costs? It's not something you find out till close to the end, so I'm going to show you how to figure it out on your own to help you plan. I'll be right back. Hi, my name is Karen O'Brien, and I am real estate broker with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Commonwealth, and this is my channel, Boston and the Burbs. If you're a subscriber, welcome back, and if you're not, welcome to my channel. This is Mushroom. Today we're going to talk about what do you spend to actually sell your house. Everything costs money. Stick with me and we'll be right back. Before I continue, I would like to tell you I have a sheet with an example that I am working off of that you can download. Look at the categories that you'll be spending money at closing. So it will help you to calculate if you know what your house might sell for. Number one, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. There is a category from maybe 1 to 3%. I would say $10,000, maybe a little more, maybe a little less if you've kept your house up perfectly. But say, you've been in there more than 5 years and there's a few things like a leaky faucet that needs to be fixed. You need to scrub the front door and give it a fresh coat of paint. Maybe put some flowers and potted plants at the front of the door. Get your entire house clean. Maybe have a professional. Fix doorknobs. I mean, just all the honey-do lists should be totally completed. When someone walks into your house, they're going to get a nice feeling. It's going to be clean. It's going to be orderly. It's not going to be too crowded. So if you spend money on these little things, yeah, it'll add up. You will get a much better chance of selling your house quickly and for a good price. My example is going to be a house selling for $650,000. We're going to talk about brokerage fee. So you hire a real estate agent that you've gotten to know a little and you're comfortable with them and you know they're going to do a good job. Marketing costs are part of what they earn. So they're going to pay out a professional photographer, the new digital photography and virtual tours, because that's how we're shopping online now. Some mailings probably to friends and neighbors, maybe their whole list of clients, marketing materials, previewing, contacting brokers, etc., etc. Now, just so you know, say at 5%, $32,500 would be the commission. That will get split between the person who's selling your house and the agent who brings you a client, a buyer. Each side will get $16,250. Now that goes to the brokerage. The brokerage will take out an administration fee. There's an awful lot of paperwork that goes with this. The brokerage will split that with the agent who's doing the work on your house. And the split could be 60, 70, 80%. That's just how it works. But the marketing is something that, unless you're in marketing and you have all the connections, it's something I would not, of course I would say this, I would not go without. The next thing is buyer incentives. Now, in this market, the Boston area, there aren't a lot of buyer incentives because it's a seller's market. Now, that could change, but buyer incentives are, if you close in 35 days, the seller will give them back $3,000 for their closing costs. Any kind of little thing to motivate the buyer. Your mortgage, old mortgage discharge fees. Well, say you might have a few $1,000s left on your mortgage to get all the paperwork to discharge that mortgage and have it paid in full. It's anywhere from $150 to $400 your mortgage company is going to charge you. The next item is attorney's fees. It's very important the seller have the attorney because they will write the purchase and sale agreement. Now, yes, it's a template, but the state of Massachusetts employs attorneys. Other states, the real estate agent works with a template and you work with an escrow company to close your sale. But we're talking about Massachusetts. So you have your attorney set up The purchase and sale will incorporate any items that are in the offer to purchase. He or she will review everything, and if it is more of a complex deal, then expect to pay more than typical. So typical is $800 to $1,000. You might go over that if it's a more complex sale, maybe multi-unit building kind of thing. Now, one nice chunk of change that you might not be expecting is the state stamp. Nice chunk of change that you might not be expecting. The state excise tax stamp. So in the olden days, they literally would stamp everything that it is complete, paid in full. So that it's still called stamp, but it's kind of like a transfer tax. It is $4.56 in most counties in Massachusetts per $1,000. So that would be 650 times 4.56, and I believe that comes to about $2,900. So that will be paid by the seller. The buyer has a whole set of their own closing costs. Relocation expenses. I don't know, a two-bedroom apartment or two-bedroom house, $2,000 for a local move, maybe $3,000. It depends. Agents have sometimes a discount with certain movers. They might have a relationship, so consider asking your real estate agent for a referral or two for movers. Now, this is number 8. It's septic systems. Now, if you're in the city of Boston or the local towns right around the edge, you will not have a septic system. You'll be on the town's sewage system. If you're out in a more rural area, yes, you will have a septic tank. It must be inspected within 2 years of a sale. So for instance, if you're going to sell your house in the next few months, you get the septic as early as you can so that you know what's coming up. The inspection will cost about $800. It might include a pump out. If it's determined you need a whole new system, that's when it might cost $30,000, $40,000. So good to do this up front. The certificate is good for 2 years, which means don't have it done and wait a year and a half before you sell, because it's only good for 6 months. They'll probably ask for something a little more contemporary. Number 9, smoke and carbon monoxide certificates. You'll hire the fire department to come and do an inspection, make sure everything works. It costs anywhere from $50 to $100. And that's good for 30 days. Overnight delivery charges. Every sale will charge for paperwork going back and forth a couple of $100. So throw that in there for FedEx or UPS overnight charges. Now, if you're in a condo, you will consider HOA fees, and are they paid up? The buyer will have to probably put out 2 months worth. You probably won't get a rebate if it's a few days. Unlike taxes, so if you sell and taxes are paid in full for the next 4 months, you will get a prorated amount based on days, and you'll get that money back because the buyer will be paying from the day of closing forward. In summary, I estimated 7 to 12% of the sale. Now understand the cost of selling your home. This is going to go on your taxes. Hopefully you'll have an accountant that you keep the whole packet of what you're spending and the HUD statement, because the cost of selling is going to affect the profit you make on your home. So don't fret about spending an extra few $1,000s, because it's more or less a write-off, and it's going to get you to where you want to go. If this was helpful, I would love you to give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Boston and the Burbs. I post every single Wednesday, so you'll be able to pick up on some tips for buyers and sellers and moving to the Boston area. Thanks so much for your time.